Hey there, all you cool, epic, and awesome fans, followers, and listeners. Welcome back. You're now listening to episode 34 of the Cool, Epic, Awesome podcast. I am Matt, your co-host.
And I'm your other co-host, Joe.
And today we're going to have a relatively short episode. We're discussing two films, both in the horror genre. We recently had the release of The Exorcist Believer. And last episode, I recommended the classic Hellraiser. So we'll talk about both of those. We're also gonna do a top 10 this week, our top 10 favorite video game adaptations. And then a couple pieces of various movie news. There's not that much because we are actually recording this early because the episode will release October 15th, which is this coming Sunday. It is
Sunday, right? Yeah.
10th today, but I'm gonna be in Universal at Halloween Horror Nights, so we had to record early.
Yeah.
But I'll talk about that experience in the next episode.
Yeah, because they have houses for Exorcist, right?
Yeah. And The Last of Us also. What's the other one? Stranger Things. And by the time the next episode comes, we'll both have
gone.
have went.
I'm going the next week.
So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess to start today's episode, we could talk about The Exorcist Believer, which is another entry into this legacy sequel category where you have a direct follow-up to the original film that ignores the previous sequels, and it just brings back a prominent cast member from the first and basically continues the story from the first movie.
Yeah.
This movie always confused me, even from when it was announced, because The Exorcist isn't really a franchise that has beloved characters, or I don't know. It's just different than, for example,
I feel like it's more known for like the story and the shock value at the time.
Yeah. For example, bring back Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. That makes sense because Jamie Lee Curtis is a beloved character. So when Blumhouse did that with the same director, David Gordon Green, that made sense because people wanted to see, what is this character up to now? What is Michael Myers doing now? Like, that doesn't really make as much sense for the Exorcist franchise. Like, I don't really care what whatever her name is, Chris McNeil, I think. I don't really care what she's up to at this point.
If they would have just announced this and had no ties like to the original one, I would have been like probably the same amount as invested as I was.
Yeah, and I think the legacy aspects hurt the film because they're not even that prominent.
No, not at all.
The first half of the movie, you wouldn't even be able to tell it's a continuation. Then they randomly just toss the mother in from the first movie. Yeah. And you could tell that she was probably on set for like 2 days.
Yeah. Well, her scenes were very short.
Yeah. I kind of respect what they did to her character, though. Getting into spoilers a little bit. What did you think about that?
I mean, I don't know. I like that they didn't kill her, honestly. I was kind of tight. I thought she was going to die because she just... That's like, you see her for 10 minutes after that scene.
Yeah. So basically what happens is, for a little like plot synopsis. So this takes place, 30 years after... Or no, when Exorcist come out, 73? Geez, so wait, no. Is it 50 years, bro? When did the first Exorcist come out?
1970 something.
73. Holy shit, bro. 50 years ago? That is actually crazy to think about. 1973 was 50 years ago. Oh my god. Anyways, so yeah, this takes place 50 years after the original. And we talked about the original a couple episodes ago, I think. Or maybe, was it last episode? I don't know, but regardless.
I think it was last episode.
Yeah, so... No, last episode was Saw X. It was 2 episodes ago, but either way.
I don't know.
So the original ends with the demon possessing Father Karras, who's the priest, and then he kills himself, so the demon dies. And now they say 50 years later, this demon comes to possess these 2 girls who are trying to communicate with the dead.
Yeah.
It's a very loose connection. I don't really like, why would the demon just randomly come back 50 years later with these random girls?
Yeah,
There's no,
I feel like they should have just made it like its own, like a different demon.
yeah, there's no connection to Reagan really,
Yeah,
or Chris McNeil. I don't want to be. Yeah, that is her name. There's no direct connection. It's just that this demon starts possessing these girls, and then the father, who I think the actor did a great job, who played
yeah.
the father. I forget his name, but I really like him. I'm about to look at it right now, just so I don't mess it up. Yeah, Leslie Odom Jr. He's in Glass Onion.
Who does he
Um,
play in Glass Onion?
I think he has a pretty small role. Oh no, he's the guy with he has like that hat. I don't know if that helps.
I don't remember. Like, what does he do in it?
Honestly, I don't remember. But I really like him as an actor, and I think he did a great job. Um, anyways, so when his daughter basically gets possessed, he he starts researching, who has this happened to before, and someone that he knows who lived next door to him was like, "Oh, this has happened." Like I don't know anyone this happened to, but there is someone online that's made a book about it, whatever. So father ends up going to her
Yeah,
to help, but there's no real connection as to why she would be involved besides the father just seeking her out.
I
Um,
guess she just feels like an obligation to,
yeah,
like, after seeing them.
yeah. And then she's in the movie for a little bit. She has the scene that people are like shitting on online where she was like, "Oh, I didn't actually see the exorcism because of the patriarchy or something," which I didn't like at the time when I watched the scene. I didn't really think too much into it. But then
Yeah, I
online people
honestly
were
had
talking
forgot
about it.
about that. I forgot about that,
Then people
honestly.
people were saying it's like stupid because the priest literally sacrificed his own life to save the daughter, and she's like complaining about the patriarchy. Like it's kind of in bad taste, I guess,
Yeah,
or I don't know. But yeah, so she has that scene, then she decides to come back and help. And the first time she goes up against this possessed girl, the demon is like, "Oh, I know Reagan. She's burning in hell." And then the girl stabs Chris McNeil's eyes out, so she
the
becomes
cross.
blind. With the crucifix, which
So kind of
I
a
actually
callback
really
to
liked it.
the, yeah,
I know a lot of people are shitting on it because they're like, "Oh, why would you bring her back just to do this?" But I feel like it subverts the expectations of the audience.
yeah,
You kind of think she's going to be this character that's recurring through the series, and she's going to be a big part of it, and she instantly kind of gets taken out.
yeah.
Um, not necessarily taken out, but
But just
like
basically
dead.
like put to the side in the story.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that aspect of it, but I do understand to a point where it's like, why would you even do it as a legacy sequel at that point if you're just gonna treat the main character like
I
that,
guess
you
just I
know?
don't know. I don't know.
Um, but yeah, so she gets taken out pretty early. The thing that separates this from the original as well is there's two girls possessed instead of just the one, which I thought was an interesting concept, and they kind of have this connection that gets explored really in depth in the exorcism scene at the end.
Yeah,
I really like the exorcism scene. I thought it was great. There's so many layers to it.
yeah.
I like the idea that their hearts are beating in sync and they're connected. I like how um
I like
they kind of have to go ahead, sorry.
the priest scene was probably my favorite. Like in specifically in that Exorcist scene.
Yeah, I really love that scene.
I feel like
So
it's also like a callback to the scene of there's a lot of callbacks to the original in the movie. Like if you could tell if you saw the original, like the opening shot it's not the same as the first one, but it's like one of the first shots in the movie, right?
yeah, with the dogs fighting, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Um but yeah, that pre-scene that you're describing. So basically what happens is the two families get to a point where they're like, okay, our daughters are possessed. Like this isn't some psychological shit. So they decide to
yeah.
do an exorcism, but the priest doesn't get approval from the Catholic Church. They're like, "Oh, the Catholic Church has said that it would be in the best
They're
interest of the
better off like
girls."
to get psychiatric help, right, or
Yeah,
something like that.
which makes no sense. But anyways, So yeah, the priest goes to the family and he's basically just like, "Yo, I can't do this, but I'm gonna give you the tools necessary to do the exorcism yourself." And he sort of
Yeah.
stays in the car and prays. And then what happens is it gets to a point where the exorcism is happening, where it kind of looks like all hope is lost. And then the priest just walks in the house and they start like playing this triumphant music and he's saying all these prayers. At first I was like, this is so stupid if they're gonna make the priest come save the day,
Yeah.
which is what it seemed like. But then all of a sudden he starts doing these prayers and he ends up getting violated by the demon. They make him twist his own head around and it like snaps his neck.
Snaps. And you see like his bone kind of like sticking
Yeah.
out. It was a pretty like disturbing scene.
Yeah. That was probably my favorite scene as well. For a lot of
Yeah.
reasons. First of
Yeah.
all, it's a great callback to the original. It's brutal and graphic, which I think is, and it's shocking, which I think is a big part of what makes this franchise so successful, is like the shock value.
I
And it
agree.
also, again, it subverts the audience's expectations. Like you think that, if it was a poorly written movie, then the priest would have just came in and saved the day. But they flipped it on its head and just killed the priest instantly,
Yeah.
which I thought was really cool.
And like, I feel like it's also like a callback to the scene in the original with the girl twisting her head,
Yeah.
which I thought was really cool.
Aside from that, in that scene, they also sort of play into this aspect of that it sometimes takes different religious beliefs to suppress the demon. So he has this like these group of they're like African. I don't know exactly what the religion is. It seemed like something Christianity based, but sort of like an African.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. So, but either way, it was a different religion. And
I don't know if you like this too, but in the movie, the two girls that got possessed, one of the girls like her family's like super super religious and they go to like church every Sunday and stuff, and the other one kind of like isn't really religious at all. So like it's kind of I like how they show like the different dynamics of the families like when they interact with the girls and stuff.
yeah, that's a great
Especially when they
point.
start going like towards like when they start going nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great point, and
Yeah.
it's all you realize the reason why the Leslie Odom Jr.'s character, the reason why he's not religious is because he had to go through this traumatic experience in his life where he's like, "There's no way God is real if he put me through
Something
this."
like this, yeah.
And I like how they go back to that. So the opening scene is basically the backstory of this character is him. His wife was pregnant. I forget where they were, but there was an earthquake. It was like an underdeveloped country, so they don't have the best medicine or anything. She ends up getting injured while she's pregnant, and then the doctor's like, "You have to make a choice. You can only save one of them." And then it cuts to present day, and the daughter's alive. So you think like, "Oh, so he chose the daughter,"
Yeah.
Which I was like, at first I was like, "Damn, like she could really pop out another daughter. Like you should have saved your wife." But anyways, they end up. During the exorcism scene, the demon targets him and is like pretending to be the daughter, and he's like, "Oh, you didn't even," or she, I guess. She's like, you didn't want to save me back then. Like, why do you want to save me now?" And it's revealed that he chose to save the wife, but she ended up dying anyway. I guess they couldn't save her.
Yeah.
So I like how the demon took that personal aspect of his life.
The demon was like he fucking roasting everybody in that one scene. He was going around the room.
Yeah.
With the nun too.
What did the demon say to the nun?
About like how she had the baby aborted.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I really like that how whenever there are exorcism movies, I like how the demon targets the people and says
He knows
things.
shit about them that like
Yeah.
the I mean the audience knew that, but like shit that, for example, like you just said, him choosing his wife, like the audience, we found that out through the demon.
Yeah, and also
And then
the character never said that to anyone.
Yeah. But I agree.
Another great thing about the exorcism scene was the fact that, which was spoiled in the trailers, which I didn't think they should have spoiled this because I thought it's a really cool concept. the demon is basically like you have to choose. I'll let one of the daughters survive, but only one you have to choose. If not, they're both gonna die.
Yeah.
Which I thought is a really cool concept. Um, and at first they're like, we can't choose. That's not fair. So they're trying
Yeah.
to just get the demons out, whatever. But then the father of not Leslie Odom Jr., the other father of the white girl,
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, I can't do this anymore. Save my daughter. I choose her. I choose her."
Yeah.
But then plot twist, which I kind of saw coming, but it still worked. He chooses his daughter, and the
His
demon,
daughter ends up killing that girl.
yeah. So there was that whole like God played a trick on you line,
Yeah.
which kind of like makes sense. I thought that scene was cool too, when she kind of gets like sucked down into hell.
Yeah. That's kind of like a grim ending.
Yeah, and the daughter of Leslie Odom Jr.'s character survives.
Because I also in the opening scene of the movie, I don't know where they are. It looks like Haiti or like some like that area of like the world, like South American type of country, and his wife is like walking through like the town, and like she gets like a blessing from one of this like priestess there, and then it's supposed to be that like that blessing is like what protected his daughter from dying.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool callback.
Yeah.
Um,
I also like the title, fully like having to do with like, because it's also a recurring theme, not theme, but a plot point is that, uh, I can't think of his name.
the father.
The
Yeah,
father,
his name is Victor.
Victor. Victor, he's an atheist basically, like he doesn't believe in it, and the demon even brings it up like during the
Yeah,
exorcism scene. So,
yeah. She's like, "You don't believe," and I thought that
yeah,
was cool that he kind of goes from being this person who has no faith to someone who ends up believing. You know.
yeah,
Um, this is kind of off topic a little bit, but I saw people on Twitter were saying that this is an anti-abortion movie.
yeah. I don't like. I thought
Do you
that.
see that? And I don't.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I guess because they're saying that you shouldn't have chose to kill the daughter in the beginning because that's like I don't know. Like
I mean, like how is that?
that's like such a
Even
loose.
even in like
Weird.
in like medical terms, like you're always taught like the mother's life always comes first in any of those like scenarios.
Yeah, because she could have another child if
Yeah,
need
yeah,
be, But yeah, I didn't really see any
yeah. I
anti-abortion
didn't even
angle.
neither did I. I
Did you
didn't
see
even
people
like.
talking about that though on Twitter?
I saw like something about it, but I didn't see a lot of people talking about it though. Like I don't think like most people walking out of the movie don't feel that way. I feel like
Yeah. Did you have a favorite character?
the father. Honestly, I really enjoyed the
Yeah,
father's
same.
Victor.
I
Yeah,
liked him a lot. I liked the journey that he went through. I also
yeah.
did like the his neighbor who was going to be a nun, and then she
Oh,
ends up
like
getting
the
pregnant.
nurse or doctor, whoever it is.
Yeah, I thought her character had a very interesting story.
Yeah.
Um, what's it called? The weakest part though about the film is like the legacy aspects to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Reagan ends up coming back, but at the end of her one scene, and she
Yeah,
just
just like
reunites with her mother.
yeah, just kind of gives her a hug and then that's it.
I just feel like those scenes were so forced with the mother, and I'm pretty sure I was reading into it a little bit just because I was curious. And Blumhouse reached out to Ellen Bernstein or Bernstein, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but to come back and do it. And she said she kept saying no. They were like throwing mad money at her, and she kept saying no. And the only reason why she said yes is because they agreed to open a scholarship fund in her name if she would come back. So
Really?
she was like, all right, but just knowing that is like she didn't want to come back.
Isn't yeah, it's never. Did you see like apparently what the original director of The Exorcist said before he passed away?
Yeah, he was like shitting on David Gordon
Yeah.
Green. I think that I don't know.
I
I
mean,
like the
I enjoy the
Gordon Green.
movie.
I like the Halloween trilogy, and I really like this movie. I think this movie is better than any of the Halloween
Yeah.
remakes, in my
I
opinion.
agree. Yeah, 100%.
which is an unpopular opinion. People are shitting on this movie so hard. Like everyone hates it, but
I don't know why. Yeah, I
I
actually I really enjoyed it.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Um, I want to see before we get into our ratings for it. I just want to think if there's anything else I had to say. Um, I don't know. I like how tense it was. I thought it was pretty scary at points. Nothing
Yeah.
crazy, but the whole time I was when I went in after seeing all these negative reviews, I kind of like wanted to dislike it.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, all right, this is gonna be terrible. Let me just get through it. But the more it
But
kept
even
going
I feel like
on, it just
you're
like
I'm a
what?
little I'm a little harsher on the Halloween movies. I feel like you like those so I mean I feel like you like some of them.
Yeah, I like the first two.
Yeah.
I didn't really like third at all. Um, which I think we talked about Halloween Ends on one of the episodes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, probably.
Um,
Oh yeah, I think we have actually. You're right.
but yeah, I don't know if David Gordon Green is necessarily the problem. I think that if they continue the planned trilogy, which
I
they
saw
probably
reports that he may not come back for the next one.
yeah, just I mean, especially it's got to be humiliating with this seeing
Yeah.
how terrible the movie's done, and then there's these quotes surfacing about how William Friedkin, who's the original director, is saying,
Yeah.
the guy who made Pineapple Express is making a new Exorcist movie. He said like I forgot the exact quote, but it was something like, "I hope I die before the movie comes out, so I could come back and haunt him" or some shit.
Yeah.
So insane. It's got to be like humiliating. I would just step
Yeah.
away.
I don't
Just
know
make
how true those quotes are though. It's like
um,
rumored, right? It's not 100% like.
I don't know the source. I mean, it could be made up, I guess, but
Yeah.
sorry, I think I just cut off for a second.
No, you're
But
good.
no, I was saying I was going to talk about the box office a little bit and the budget.
Yeah.
So I think the movie was made for around 30 million, and I think it made like 45 globally opening weekend, which you think that's pretty great, First
Yeah.
weekend make 45 mil, but Universal had to pay Miramax 400 mil for the rights to the Exorcist franchise.
Do
So
they even make movies anymore, Miramax?
I think so. No, I don't think anything notable nowadays.
Yeah.
But um, anyways, um, so you have to take that into account. So 400 mil for a trilogy. So let's say you divide that by three. What is that? 133 million for
Yeah.
each movie, plus the actual budget. So the real budget you're looking at
And marketing.
160, around the 160 million plus marketing. Let's just say like 180 to 200 million. You have to make that on each movie to end up breaking even, which it's not looking likely, to be honest.
I mean, it still could happen.
I like I said, like it's kind of sounds like I'm shitting on the movie, but I really liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it
Um,
as well.
I'm just thinking from like a business aspect if it makes sense to continue. Because also, where do you
Yeah, and
go
I
from
feel like
here?
I don't understand where the story's gonna go either.
I guess like is that same girl gonna get possessed again? You have now
Maybe they're
Chris
gonna do it.
McNeil is blinded in a hospital. Reagan comes back, but what purpose is she gonna serve to an extended
Yeah.
story? How are they gonna make two more movies out of this? They kind of like wrote themselves into a corner with the ending of this movie, unless they have some master plan, which
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I agree. I think they should just end it.
um yeah.
I don't see
I don't know. I
how.
don't know. I want them to continue, but
But
maybe
where does the story go?
yeah, it is weird. Um but yeah, I guess we could get into ratings. For me personally, this might shock people, but I gave it a 4 stars, 8 out of 10, which puts it in like my top 20 of the year, which is probably insane
Yeah,
to a
that's
lot of
kind of
people
nuts.
because it has like a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. But
It isn't that bad. It's not. Oh, that's
yeah,
nuts.
I don't
28%.
I don't know if you liked it as much as I did, but I really loved it. I kept getting more and more reasons to like it as the movie went on, all the way up until the end, the exorcism scene.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't mention this before, but I liked the imagery that they showed. Like once he chooses, um, the daughter, the father of the white girl. Once he chooses her to survive, which
Yeah,
obviously she doesn't. There's like a bunch of imagery where it shows these demons and all this like flashing stuff,
yeah.
which I thought that was really cool. That was like another
I don't,
random part of
I
it.
don't know if this was on purpose, but like, there's that scene of like when he gives the daughter the scarf, and it's like, it's over her shoulders, like it's like the purple, kind of. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, the
The
thing that the
term is.
priests wear.
Yeah. Isn't that like what he wears in the original one too? Like he has the
Well,
purple.
yeah, actually, yeah, the priest,
Yeah.
the father, or whatever. Um, but yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. I genuinely don't understand the hate. I understand it to an extent, but for people to be shitting on the movie this hard, I really don't
Yeah,
get it.
I agree. I don't think it deserves all the fucking hate it's getting. You
What
know,
did you give it?
I gave it 3.5. I mean, I still enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot better than that's higher than I've given any of the Blumhouse Halloween movies. Um, I thought it was honestly pretty like quality, which usually Blumhouse I feel like is not really known for.
Blumhouse has hits and misses,
Yeah.
but they release a lot of shit. I mean,
I mean,
they have a,
most of their shit's profitable.
they have another movie this month, FNAF.
Yeah. Did you
Do you
see like the
believe
trailer
what?
for like Night Swim?
Yeah, I saw that. It looks alright.
Yeah. That's like
Um,
James Wan's company, the
yeah,
Atomic Monster, whatever the fuck it's called.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, it looks alright. I think that's another Blumhouse, right?
Yeah,
But can you believe? I was gonna say, can you believe next episode is FNAF?
that is kind of nuts. Was so close.
We have the craziest lineup next episode: Killers of the Flower Moon and FNAF.
That is kind of insane.
Yeah,
We did you get your tickets yet for FNAF?
yeah, I did.
Yeah, me too.
I did. The theater looked like decently
Yeah, there
packed
was like actually a decent amount of
for
people
for
in
a, yeah, for a movie that's two
yeah,
weeks out. Um,
yeah, interesting.
but yeah, we're getting off topic a little. But yeah,
Yeah,
The Exorcist Believer, I'd say don't believe the hate. Check it out for yourself.
yeah. Make your own opinion.
Make your own opinion. And I think that people who aren't as familiar with the original probably will have a more enjoyable experience with it.
Yeah,
So,
I
all right.
agree.
Now that that's over with, we can
Want
get
some
into
movie news?
some movie news. There's not a lot.
I mean, apparent rumor has it the actor strike is supposed to end tomorrow, so hopefully next episode we'll have some like act because then I'm sure like the
Yeah, the
Fantastic Four
casting is
cast will
gonna.
drop. We're gonna get like more DC casting stuff.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, there was an article today actually from Variety that spilled a
Yeah,
bunch of tea about DC currently. A lot about Aquaman too. Some of it's
kind
comically
of
like
weird.
insane.
Yeah,
Um, the big thing though is that they said they confirmed that Jason Momoa is in talks to play
to play
Lobo,
Lobo.
either in the Superman movie or in his own solo project, which is
Yeah,
something that it's definitely something that I feel like we saw as possible, but we weren't sure fully.
yeah. I
The
like it though. I'm
article,
kind of.
yeah,
I think it's like
yeah.
spot on casting.
The article confirmed that he's not coming back as Aquaman, and it also confirmed that none of the Justice League members are coming back, including
Yeah,
Ezra Miller or Gal Gadot. Which there was, she came out and said that she was coming back for Wonder Woman 3, and now it's disproven. So it just
yeah,
they're a mess over there. There was also some other funny stuff that they were saying there was drama on set of Aquaman 2, which makes sense as to maybe why James Wan was so fed up
yeah.
with the making of the movie. Apparently, Jason Momoa showed up to set drunk and was dressed as Johnny Depp and was trying to get Amber Heard fired from the project.
And then I saw something like Elon Musk wrote a letter to like Warner Brothers or something.
But it's actually like this is like a fake reality.
Yeah,
Like what is even happening? None of this shit makes any sense. Jason Momoa seems like such a nice guy. Why would he target Amber Heard like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds. I don't know. Maybe there's more to the story that we don't know. Maybe it was like a. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
the
don't know
show with
what more
Elon
we
Musk
can
is
know.
mad funny too, though. Like he basically wrote a letter to Warner Brothers and was like, "Oh, if you fire
Fire
Amber
her.
Heard, because I guess they were dating at the time, or I don't know if they were together at the time, but they used to be together. Um, no, they must have not been together at that time because he had kids like kind of recently, I guess. But
Yeah.
anyways, um,
Oh,
he wrote a letter to Warner Brothers and was like, "If you fire her, I'll burn the studio to the ground or some shit."
yeah. Which is
It's
kind
like
of insane.
the most random interactions. I
Yeah.
really can't believe the Jason Momoa thing. Showing up drunk to set is one thing, but then dressing up as
But what
the
does that mean?
abusive
Like
ex.
dressing up? Like what
Bro,
does
in
that
my head,
mean?
I'm picturing him dressing up as Jack Sparrow, like showing up to
Nah, there's
set.
no way. I don't think so.
But
But
what
what
else
does
could
that
it
mean? I
mean?
feel like I don't know.
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like I need a
It's
picture.
Yeah, it's mad funny though. Um, but yeah, moving on from that, unless you have anything else to say about it,
No, no.
it's just kind of crazy. You mentioned before the Fantastic Four. Apparently, they interviewed the
Yeah.
director, Matt Shackman, and he said that the casting is they're basically just waiting for SAG to end, the SAG
Yeah, and
strikes
then
to
they're gonna
end, and
announce
then
everything.
so that seems as though they have been cast. Who was the favorite as of recently for Mr.
It was
Fantastic?
like I know one of them was Matt Smith at one point.
Was it?
Adam
Isn't
Driver
it?
and Matt Smith, I believe.
Isn't it Jake Gyllenhaal?
Nah, I don't think so.
I saw
I doubt
someone.
it.
I don't know, but I feel like we always talk about not every episode, but a lot of episodes. Oh, this person's rumored. This person's rumored.
I
So
know
it's a bit
Vanessa
comforting
Kirby's like pretty much confirmed for,
for Sue, right?
and then apparently I don't know how true that is, but the dude from Stranger Things,
Which
um,
one?
the
Joe
guy who
Keery or the guy who plays Billy? Or no, Eddie. The guy who plays Eddie.
plays Eddie,
Joseph Quinn. That's his
he's
name, I think.
playing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that character is gonna
Um,
work. I can't picture it with that. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. Marvel usually has pretty great casting
Yeah,
all around.
that's true.
So,
We'll
but
see.
yeah, there seems to finally be some light at the end of the tunnel for the Fantastic Forecast. There are also some other reports with Marvel saying that Deadpool 3 and Captain America 4 are going to stick to their release dates regardless of the strikes.
Which I highly doubt. There's no
I
way.
doubt it, but I guess it depends on how much work they did while the strikes were going on. Maybe they were still doing VFX the whole time. Maybe they were starting to edit the movie. But if that sticks to its release date, I would assume we would get a Deadpool 3 trailer before the end of the year, right?
Yeah, maybe like
Which
Thanksgiving or
I,
Christmas.
I wonder how much they're going to show in the
Yeah,
trailer. Because you have all these like multiverse aspects. Um,
I feel like a lot of people seeing the movie aren't gonna even understand the.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we could also talk about quickly, because this kind of ties in Loki season 2. The first episode dropped.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, it was really
Uh,
good. Honestly, I enjoyed it a lot.
it's just watching this compared to like watching Secret Invasion. There's such a huge
Oh
difference in
my
quality.
god, yeah.
It's insane.
Even the
Um,
C, even like look at the CGI in this, and like look at the CGI in like the last couple movies besides
yeah,
Guardians.
yeah, it's pretty wild. You had Ki Hoi Kwan show up, and
He
he
played
was
Aura.
great.
Yeah, what's
Yeah,
her Ouroboros?
yeah. I think I'm trying to think of what they're gonna set up or lead into in the show. Kang is prominent. The first shot, opening shot, is Jonathan Majors' face as a statue. So it seems like they don't
Yeah.
give a fuck about what's going on.
I mean, this was like all this shit was already filmed before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess they're gonna. Well, at the end of season 1, Loki ends up going into the TVA, and Owen Wilson's character Mobius doesn't remember him, even though they spent the whole season together. And the way they
Yeah.
explain it in this is that he went to the TVA, but it was just in the past, and that's why he doesn't recognize him. And then he's he sort of is time slipping, so he's jumping from past to present, back
Present
and forth.
does he go to the future or no? Just the past to present.
I think it's the present. I don't think he goes like into the future necessarily, but I guess it depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
And the only person who remembers him is the guy Ouroboros, and it makes sense because he's sort of like tucked away in this little
Still,
alcove that he never interacts with anyone. So it
like all
seems
the way in
like
the basement of the TVA.
he who remains didn't wipe his mind. He's the only one. So that's the reason why he remembers Loki and he's able to remember. Oh wait, I do have this device. Oh wait, I do remember you. Which was pretty. It's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah.
We also see Sylvie at the end of the episode. She's working
Honestly,
at
I didn't know there was a post-credit scene. I found out like after I had to watch it.
yeah, just her going to the McDonald's.
McDonald's, yeah.
Got to get that collab money.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be because I'm sure they're gonna mark like there'll be like mad shit about McDonald's next episode.
Yeah. This feels like an important series though for the MCU as a whole because you
Yeah.
have Kang who's going to be the villain of the next Avengers movie. This is also has the TVA which are going to be in Deadpool 3, which is the next Marvel movie after the Marvels. So there's a lot of threads that could connect. I feel like there's going to be a tease to Deadpool 3 at the end.
Most
Whether
likely. Or
whether
that or the next Avengers.
yeah, whether that be Deadpool himself showing up, which I highly doubt,
Nah.
or them teasing like, oh, we have to go prune this universe and alluding that it's going to be his universe in some way.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. I don't really know where the story of this season is going to go in terms of like a self-contained aspect.
I mean,
guess
because I feel like they have to lose, right? Because
yeah, because Kang is going to have to succeed. So
yeah,
I wonder how prominent Jonathan Majors is going to be because apparently he's in 4 episodes out of 6,
I mean,
which is and he
this
wasn't in
one
the
counts,
first.
right?
So, you didn't actually see him. I mean, you see a statue of him. I feel like this doesn't count.
Oh, okay. So then I don't know if it'll be in the next episode.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
I really like him as Kang. I mean, obviously, if he did all that bad shit, then he shouldn't have a
You
job.
shouldn't
But
be, yeah.
I guess until he's proven guilty,
We'll
I'll
see.
support him. Um, so yeah, that seems very promising. Episodes come out. Also, Disney Plus changed their release strategy. Now they release episodes at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time,
I think I like that a lot better.
which is great. They used to
Yeah.
release at 3 a.m., which in like California it's 12, but still. I think
Yeah,
it
that's
works a lot
OD.
better because everyone watches it at the same time and you get this buzz on Twitter and when there's these reveals, like everyone witnesses them at the same time,
Yeah.
which I think is just going to help the show succeed in general. So that'll be every Thursday. Also, we could talk about another Disney Plus show, Ahsoka, which you caught up on, right?
Finally, yeah. I was behind for a while.
Yeah, so it just had its finale. Um, and I
What
didn't
did you think
watch.
overall?
I thought the show was pretty good. I think I've mentioned this before, but in Star Wars, the stuff that's the coolest to me is the Jedi and the Sith. I like seeing lightsaber battles. I like the Force being explored.
Like the lore and shit.
Yeah, things like that. So there was, you have scenes, especially in the finale. There's 3 Jedis fighting against these stormtroopers and stuff. I like that aspect of it. I like seeing
Yeah.
Jedis. I like lightsabers. I like all that shit. So this compared to something like Andor, which I didn't watch. I heard it's great, but this is more interesting to me.
Yeah.
I also didn't watch Rebels or Clone Wars, so I didn't know all the characters. I think you're in the same boat with me on that, right?
Yeah. I mean I like had a general idea who they were, but I don't know like the lore behind them and shit.
Yeah, I only know from I think after Thrawn showed up in like episode 6 or something, I watched a couple of YouTube videos trying to sort of explain like what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like this is gonna lead into a Star Wars movie that Dave Filoni's doing, which is going to be
Yeah.
this culmination of all the Mandalorian shows. It'll probably have Ahsoka in it for sure. Thrawn as probably the main villain. Mandalorian will probably be in it. Boba Fett, maybe. I wonder um if they will
But
use like a de-age Luke in the movie.
I hope they just recast. They do.
Yeah,
They should just do that.
yeah. I think for cameos in a TV show, like okay, but if he's
Or a
gonna be in a
movie is
movie, I
especially
don't
like a
know.
prominent character too.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess they did it with Samuel L. Jackson for Captain Marvel. He was de-aged throughout that entire movie,
I don't know.
so it's possible, but I don't know. There are also a lot of a lot of things that are teased at the end of the series that I didn't really get. Like
Yeah,
the
like with the Mortis gods and stuff.
yeah. Um
Yeah, I'm not like too familiar, but I know my friends that watch like Clone Wars and Rebels like understood that stuff.
yeah. I really loved Balin.
Yeah,
He was
it's such
probably
a
my
shame. What's his name? Ray.
Ray Stevenson.
Yeah, that he passed away. Because I was gonna say he was probably my favorite character throughout the series.
Yeah, he's one of like the coolest original Star Wars characters in a long time,
Yeah.
I would say.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it seemed like they were taking his story somewhere, especially with that ending shot of
Ending
him like
shot. Yeah.
he's saying something was
I
called to
found him
him.
more interesting than most of the characters in like the sequel trilogy.
Yeah. And it's just such a like great performance.
Oh yeah,
He feels like a Game of Thrones level character, honestly.
absolutely.
Like he doesn't feel like
Yeah.
a Disney Plus Star Wars character, you know? Um,
Yeah, it's a shame.
apparently that light that he's reaching out to is this crazy, like,
Like God, I saw something like
god.
he's going to become a god or something like that.
There's apparently this villain in like the extended canon of Star Wars called Aboleth.
I heard. What is that?
I don't know too much about it. She seems like she's supposed to be the most powerful god or most powerful being in the entire Star Wars universe. That she goes up against an insanely powered Luke Skywalker in the extended Star Wars lore, which isn't canon to like the
Yeah.
movies. So they're saying they're going to introduce her, which will be cool. But a problem I have with these shows, a lot of them are set. Like I'm pretty sure this is set 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Like we know what's going to happen. We know the First Order is going to emerge. We know that
Yeah,
these.
they're gonna lose.
Yeah, we know that these characters are not going to survive, or if not survive, if they do survive, then they're not going to be prominent in terms of like saving the galaxy, you
Yeah.
know. Um, which is why I feel like it was a huge missed opportunity. I think that they should have kept everyone in that alternate galaxy, so that way they can flesh out,
It's
do
like
whatever they want over there, and
yeah,
then
they
if they,
probably they're gonna want like Luke involved and like
yeah. And then if they wanted to, they could just be like, "Oh, the reason why Ahsoka wasn't there in the sequel trilogy is because she was in this galaxy," and then they could bring her back for, say, the movie they're doing about Rey,
oh,
which is
like
set.
saying like time passes differently there.
Or no, not even that, but they could have just said she didn't come back to the main universe until after the events of the sequel trilogy.
Honestly,
So that,
they should. That would be pretty cool if they came back like forward in time and it was like the present Star Wars.
yeah, so that way that would be a reason as to why they weren't there during the sequel trilogy, but
Yeah.
now they're there now. I think they should have left all of them in that separate galaxy.
Yeah.
You have Thrawn ends up going back to the main galaxy as well as Ezra and Sabine and Ahsoka, along with Balin and his apprentice, are stuck. So I guess the movie might be about going back to save them and then going up against Thrawn.
We'll see.
It's interesting. It's very, very fan servicey, which I
Yeah.
don't think is necessarily a bad thing.
And it's
But
very like it's a feel like with the lore in terms of like Star Wars lore, there's a lot going on
yeah, you
compared to
have
like Mandalorian and shit.
like I'm sure Dad, he's watched. I'm sure he was mad confused of what the fuck was going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Especially
Like the
with
fucking witches and shit. Like
yeah, I think it's cool.
No, I
But
like I like this like when they treat like the Jedi like it's a religion. Like I think that's cool.
yeah, but we'll see where they go from here. I'm not sure. I think the next Star Wars show is that one about the Sith. What is it called? The
Oh,
Acolyte.
Acolyte.
I
Apparently,
think
it's
that's the
like the
next one.
darkest like Star Wars series or
Yeah,
something like
that's
that.
really interesting to me because it follows like a Sith. I think
Yeah.
seems pretty
Apparently,
cool.
someone said it's like uh, don't quote me, but they said it was something. So I saw this thing, and it was like it's Frozen meets something else because it's like twins that get separated at birth. I think one becomes a Jedi and one becomes a Sith. It's basically about that.
It's what, bro? What do you mean frozen
Like for
meats?
no, I swear, like Frozen meets like an I forgot what they compared it to.
Oh
The
my God,
movie
bro.
Frozen.
Nah, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. When you said frozen meats, I thought you meant like meat, like a piece of steak was frozen.
No, no.
I didn't realize you meant like the movie Frozen meets Star Wars. I was mad confused, but I was like,
Oh,
the fuck does
Frozen
that have to
meets
do with
Kill
anything?
Bill. That's what it
Damn,
was. Yeah.
interesting. We'll see. I
I
don't
know
know
the
if.
girl
Oh
who
wait, what
plays
about
the.
Skeleton Crew?
Oh, Skeleton Crew is probably next, actually.
I saw people theorizing that Skeleton Crew is going to take place in that alternate galaxy.
But how?
I mean, it could. All those characters are new. They could just exist in that other galaxy.
But isn't that like fucking pirate guy, like that moss looking pirate dude from The Mandalorian gonna
Oh
be?
yeah, you're right. You're right. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But anyways, we can move on. We got a lot of TV stuff. We don't usually talk about like series that much, but also the Boys spinoff came out, Gen V, which is about if you like the Boys, it's basically the Boys set in a super powered college. So
Yeah.
it's just as raunchy, just as graphic, except it just follows college students. And right, I know you're not caught up, so I won't really spoil much, but you've seen what, the first two episodes?
Yeah, the first two.
Right from the first episode, and especially the way it ends, you're hooked right away.
Yeah.
I think they did a great job, and I feel like spin-offs usually, excuse me, or not usually, but it's hard for them
For the
to sort
most
of like capture that same,
I agree.
not magic necessarily, but the same
And
kind of
like
vibe as the original.
gravitas, whatever you want to call it.
But to me, this basically,
This did, yeah. It was on par with the boys, I'd say.
yeah, just as good. And
Yeah.
it's all these new characters too. There's connections to the main boys show. Like there's a couple cameos from some of the heroes and on TV broadcasts or this and
Yeah.
that. But it's able to stand on its own as well. It has a pretty interesting story. Pretty cool heroes.
Yeah. I
You
like
like
the main girl, yeah.
yeah. One
Marie.
thing that I noticed is there's seeming to um use sort of like I don't know if addictions is the word, but um
What?
like they're turning negatives about people like into positives. Like
What do
for
you mean?
example, uh like the girl who shrinks.
Yeah.
She has like an technically that's an eating disorder. She's
Yeah.
bulimic. She makes herself throw up.
Yeah.
And then the main girl, she cuts herself to use her powers.
I mean, I
So
don't but like
there
I
is
feel like they portray the bulimic thing as like a bad thing.
I know,
Like
I'm no, I'm saying yeah. But I don't know if you get up to it yet, but there is a part in one of the episodes where um I forget who the conversation is between, but they're basically talking about how the girl who shrinks is basically bulimic and it's like messed up and someone calls out Marie Moreau and was like, "Yo, like you can't talk. You literally cut yourself to use your powers." So it's like just as bad. So I don't know what type of angle they're trying to take. I guess showing that these
yeah, but
negatives about you could be turned into something good.
I don't know. I didn't even like pick up on that honestly.
Maybe you didn't get up to that part in the show
Yeah.
yet, but it's interesting. I also think it's really interesting. I forgot the character's name, but the one that can change into a boy and a girl.
Oh, I know who you're talking about though.
Like Vought doesn't want to put her in or them
The,
in the top leaderboards because they're like, oh, it's an Asian who is gender fluid. Like this isn't gonna sit well with the audiences and
yeah.
shit, which is kind of like similar to, well, I mean, it's just like a
In
what's it
this
called?
like in this like Homelander world.
Yeah, it's like not gonna sit well.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. There's also a scene where they're talking to their father, and did you get up to that part yet? I think it might be episode 3, where
Mm.
the father basically resents um the kid because he's like, listen, like I have nothing wrong. I have nothing against anyone who suffers with gender identity because they don't have a choice of, whether they feel like a boy or
Yeah.
girl. Like you have a choice. So it's different. So why can't you just be a guy the whole time? Which is like it's kind of
But I don't think
interesting.
I didn't get up to that, I don't think.
I didn't expect them to like pull that
Pull that
card.
angle.
It was
Yeah.
pretty interesting though to think about.
Yeah.
Um, so they are having like political-ish, or not political, but like social commentary, which right, same thing with the boys. They do that shit all the time, and I think
Yeah.
it's handled very well. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. I'm not sure how it's going to connect into the actual
The
show.
like I mean there's something to do with the woods, I feel like is gonna have to do with the seven.
Yeah. Or maybe I think you mentioned one of the characters might end up in the 7.
Yeah.
Probably the main girl. But we'll see, because
Right.
I feel like that's going to be hard for them to market as like a power to the general, like
Yeah.
in the vault world, not in our world. Like someone who uses blood as a power, I feel like might be a little too crazy for vault.
That's
But
true.
we'll see what they do. Um, yeah,
Apparently
that's true.
A
What?
Train and what's his name are gonna be in it too.
Soldier Boy?
Soldier Boy, and then the dude the Aqua dude, I forgot his name.
Oh, the Deep.
Yeah, the Deep.
Yeah,
Apparently
they
they're all
have.
gonna be-
I think the Deep is in one of the other episodes, but not him himself. It's like a recording of him, but he still had to, film it for the show.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
The Deep, I think there's like a recording of him.
Oh yeah.
Or
People were saying like that for Soldier Boy it was gonna be something like how the Captain America like videos in school with Spider-Man, it was gonna be something like that.
uh, that would be funny.
Yeah.
Um, what's it called? Didn't Soldier Boy die though at the end of
No,
season
they
3?
put him on like cryo.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm really excited for the Boy season 4 though. Jeffrey
Yeah.
Dean Morgan's gonna be in it too.
Who's he
Uh,
playing?
I forget. But I think they were saying it's like a perfect casting on Twitter. People were saying he's like perfect
Yeah.
for whoever he's playing. But all right, yeah, we can move on. We actually have
Yeah.
some video game news, which I just wanted to talk about because I found it interesting.
Yeah.
Fortnite had their Halloween update today, and they added in Michael Myers as well as Jack Skellington. We were really
From
praying for a FNAF.
FNAF, yeah. We were really hoping for I
Uh,
mean it's still possible. It's early,
but
you
yeah, I'm
know.
surprised for one, they put Michael Myers in, which you know, he comes from like a rated R movie franchise.
Yeah.
It's not the first time they've done it. They put Ash Williams in
Yeah.
from Evil Dead,
Yeah.
but Michael Myers is more kind of violent. Like Ash is at least the villain. I mean, the hero of those movies. Michael Myers is like a straight villain. I
Yeah.
love the fact that they did that. I think it's sick.
No, it
I
is
actually,
really cool. Did you see
yeah,
the emote with him?
yeah.
He like
It's a
plays
really
the
cool
Halloween
email.
theme.
I love
Yeah.
Fortnite. I don't care
Yeah.
about what the haters say, bro. I really don't.
Best game ever. It
Might be
is. It
the
is. I honestly think it's the most successful game. Well, maybe Pokemon, but I get like single game. It's like the most successful game of all time.
Yeah, probably that or Minecraft
Oh yeah,
because
Minecraft. Another
they're
one.
definitely up there.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, also you were mentioning this to me before. They added Jack Skellington, which is like a Disney character.
yeah. I think that's kind of like nuts to have a Disney character like holding a shotgun and shit. Like you'd never. I kind of never expected that.
Yeah.
If they
Um,
could put another Disney character, who'd you want?
Remy from Ratatouille. That would be sick.
That would be pretty fire.
Or Linguini, the chef, and like Remy is a back bling or something.
That would be pretty gas.
This has to be the first Disney character, right? I think.
I mean, like, I mean, the Marvel, but I feel like they do like it's different with Marvel though.
Yeah, because Disney owns like the film rights.
Yeah,
Oh,
and they do a
but
lot of like. I
I guess
mean,
yeah, because they did have the Love and Thunder skins, and they have like
but
the
that's like
movie.
Marvel Studios still. It's not like a direct like this is like a Disney original movie,
Yeah, that
which
does
is
open the
crazy.
doors.
Yeah,
Crazy how they
for
like if you just look up all the collabs they have, like you're gonna have Michael Myers going up against Ariana Grande and Goku and LeBron James.
and apparently Travis Scott's coming back too.
Let's go.
They have like a new Travis Scott skin. Isn't that like one of the rarest skins in the game now?
Because like after that whole Astro World thing, they didn't want to put him back in the item
Yeah,
shop. Um, yeah, I just thought it was pretty interesting. I wanted to discuss it because
yeah,
I'm a pretty avid Fortnite gamer. So, but yeah, that basically wraps up the news segment.
yeah.
Um,
Hopefully next week will be the actor strike will have ended, so we'll have some casting news and some filming
yeah,
updates.
yep. All right, so now we can move on to the list for this week, which you recommended. If you want
Yeah.
to go into it a little, just
So
explain
I
the list.
recommended video game movies. So how many did you get, Matt?
Yeah, I was able to
You got
get like
10.
a top 10. Some of them might not count as adaptations necessarily, but
Yeah.
um,
I had yes, I same thing with me. One of them like kind of really it isn't like an adaptation of a video game. It's actually a book adaptation, but it's centered around a video game, the movie.
okay, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. I think I
Yeah,
know what you're talking about, but so wait, did you have
probably.
10 or no?
No, I had 7.
All right, so I'll say my
Yeah, you could
first. I'll
yeah.
say 10, 9, and 8, and then you could do your 7. So for me, number 10 is the original Resident Evil movie, starring Mila Jovovich and directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Um, this movie seemed like something I would really enjoy. I love horror, I love zombies, and Resident Evil just seems really cool, but it actually fucking sucked, bro. It
Yeah.
was so boring. The zombies don't even show up until like halfway through the movie, and their VFX is terrible.
Yeah.
I know
When
like the
did it come
lore of the
out?
games. Let me see. Came out 2002. I was gonna say I don't know
So
the lore of the games, but I was watching it with a buddy of mine at school when I was in college, and he like knows all the lore, and he said it doesn't follow it at all. It's like
oh,
completely different. So
that's kind of funny, honestly.
yeah, but this is terrible. I gave it a 1 star.
Yeah.
And then number 9, this is one that I don't really know if it necessarily counts, but I had to get up to 10, so I tossed it on, and that's a Free Guy, directed by Levi or Levy.
Yeah.
Um,
That
it's
counts
not it's
technically.
not an adaptation of a video game, but it the movie
Yeah.
takes place in a video game. I thought it was solid. It was kind of funny. It was basically Ryan Reynolds pretending or playing his same Deadpool character.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi's in it. He's okay. They had a
Doesn't he play the
couple,
villain?
yeah. They had a couple like cameos and stuff. I thought it was fine. It's like decent.
Yeah. Nothing like nuts.
Yeah. And then number 8, which I think you were referring to before, I had Ready Player One,
Yeah. Yeah.
which, like you said, it's not a video game adaptation necessarily, but
Oh,
it's centered around a video game
video
or an
game. Yeah.
online gaming space, directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just a huge cameo fest, but I did
I
enjoy the
I like the
movie.
story of it though. I do enjoy the story of it.
Yeah, it's decent. I mean, it's not anything special to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could start with your 7 then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for 7, I actually have Rampage with The Rock.
You've seen that?
Yeah. It's like I mean I mean the games like kind of we actually used to play the games as a kid,
I
but
loved Rampage as a kid,
yeah
yeah.
there's not really like a a plot. It's just kind of like like there's like a radioactive goo that just turns these animals giant, and that's kind of the premise of the
Yeah.
This is like I mean the Rock's like a zookeeper of the animals, so that's like his connection to
Yeah, and then they get like that. I forget what it's called. In the game,
whatever.
it's like this
It's like
soda.
the soda, yeah.
I don't know if they probably don't do it like that in
No,
the
it's like a fucking I forgot. It's like chemicals get into some I forgot how it is.
yeah, it doesn't seem like a great movie to be
Yeah.
honest. But
At one point, it was the highest grossing video game movie of all time. I remember that.
well
That
now
was like one of the. They
I'm
were
sure
like that.
Mario fucking blew that shit
Oh
out of the
yeah,
water.
no.
But
Let's see what it is on Rotten Tomatoes.
yeah,
51%. It's
that's
not
not
like
that bad.
atrocious. Yeah,
It's
no.
not that bad.
I just haven't watched a lot of video game movies. Apparently,
Yeah.
like at the time, it was like pretty well, not like well received, but like for a video game movie, like oh, it was pretty decent.
Hmm.
They also look like nothing like the fucking ones from the game, though.
Yeah.
It's just like a white King Kong.
Yeah, I'll go to my 7 though, quick. And this is one
Yeah.
that also is on the fence of is it a video game movie, is it not? And it's actually a movie that came out this year. It's called Tetris. And it's basically about the guy who made Tetris and how there was this insane like conspiracy where he has to like go into the like the Soviet Union or something to like get the game back because it was stolen. And the main guy's played by Taron Egerton. It was like an Apple TV original,
Yeah.
and it's a pretty good film. Like it doesn't really go that in depth into the video game aspects, but it shows like how he came up with the idea of Tetris and its phases from conception to what it is now. And it was pretty cool. Nothing crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, fair. For number 6, I had Detective Pikachu, which we actually saw pretty recently.
Yeah, we talked
Um,
about it, I think, on our like second or third
yeah.
episode or something.
I actually really like the way they animate the Pokemon. Like I don't think that they make them look like it's a good balance of like looking like the video game, but like also kind of looking like they could exist in the world. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually my number 6 as well, Detective
Yeah.
Pikachu. Uh, yeah, like you said, I like how the Pokemon looked. I like the world. Justice Smith was okay as a lead.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big fan of him.
Yeah.
Mewtwo as the main villain was pretty cool. Um, but yeah, would you? I know you said you like the style. Would you think they should do a Chopper like that in
Yeah.
One Piece?
Yeah. I have a feeling
It's
they're gonna make Chopper like because the whole thing is he eats like the it's called like the human fruit, and it basically just he's a reindeer, and it turns him into human. So I feel like they're just gonna make him like just like a small kid or something.
yeah, yeah.
Which
Actually, that I mean, yeah, like a kid with
I
little
mean, they're all
antlers
supposed to
or
be
something.
like youngish. They're also like Luffy's supposed to be like 18.
Yeah, but in the show,
Those,
he's actually just a reindeer that could talk,
yeah, yeah.
right?
He can like has like different like forms and shit. But
Yeah. All right. You want to give your 5 now?
for 5, I had Sonic, the original Sonic. It was fun, nothing like great. Jim Carrey's really fun in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the same as number 5. We have the
Yeah,
same 5 and 6. Yeah, this was sort of when the landscape of what's it called? Of video
but
game movies started to turn and people were like, "Damn, you can act like they can actually be good." Because this was very well received.
yeah,
And obviously there's the whole ugly Sonic thing where he looked terrible
they
at first and then the studio listened and changed him.
yeah, which is I mean that's like I feel like the movie wouldn't have made that much money if they didn't fix him.
Yeah. But all right. So yeah, and I love Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
But you want to give your what is it 4?
four actually had Sonic 2. Uh, I know there's not a lot of video game movies I've seen, but I mean it pretty much adds on everything from the first one. There's more like shit from the video games. I feel like it's like definitely it's not afraid as not that's a weird way to put it, but like it I
It's
feel
not as
like it's
cautious.
Yes, as the first one. Like it does take some risks.
Mhm. Yeah, for number 4, I had Mortal Kombat from 2021. This was one of the movies that released during the pandemic when it went straight to HBO Max.
Yeah.
Such a surprise for me. I loved it because the thing is, it follows an original character that's not from the games. So I feel like whenever they do shit like that, it's kind of like doomed for failure. Because why
Yeah.
wouldn't they just follow like one of the characters? But I guess it kind of makes sense because you want to have a lead protagonist, but how can you choose one from like the whole
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat roster? Um, but they have the graphicness of the fatalities like the game has. Scorpion and like Sub-Zero are sick characters. They look sick. They have sick attacks.
Does
Um,
Mortal Kombat like the game have like a story? I never actually like played
it
it.
does. It does. I think in the last game, it was either 12 or 11.
Yeah, like
Um,
reset, right, or
they
something.
reset. Yeah, that's why the new one is called Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah, it looks cool. Honestly, the new
Yeah,
one. It looks.
it looks pretty cool. I like Mortal. I like fighting games. But yeah, I think this movie basically took what the video games are and brought it into live action. I think it did a really good job.
Yeah,
So I would think you would like it if you checked it out.
probably would. Yeah.
So that was number 4 for me.
All right. For me, for number 3, I had Ready Player One. Another. I mean, you pretty much summed it up. It's a kind of a cameo fest in a way, but it is an interesting like premise for a movie, and it does have to do with video games, and there's not a lot that I have.
Yeah. My to get into top three, I had Sonic 2. I think it's a step up from the first in basically every way. There's
Yeah,
more characters. It focuses more on Sonic himself and less on the human characters. Jim Carrey's back. He's more over the top than he was in the first. You get
they have
more
like a
like this,
giant like fucking
the Robotnik
yeah.
giant machine. You get more of sort of the Sonic lore explained. You get Knuckles and Tails showing up. Um, Sonic goes into like Super Saiyan form or whatever. Like I forget what it's called, but
Oh, Golden Sonic, whatever the hell it is.
yeah. And they tease Shadow the Hedgehog at the end. So
Yeah,
pretty cool. Wait, before I just want to circle back to Mortal Kombat for a second. I forgot to mention they cast Johnny Cage for the next one, and it's
yeah, as
Carl Urban on The Boys.
yeah,
That's gonna be
pretty
really
cool.
cool. I
Yeah, that's
think
a good
he's
casting.
yeah. I could just imagine him as that character. He seems like a perfect fit. But
Yeah,
yeah. Anyways, all right. You want to give your number 2?
yeah. Number 2, I had the Mario movie. It's not like the best movie in the world, but in terms of like accuracy to the game, like the world is just so you're like immersed in the Mushroom Kingdom and everything. Like it's just so accurate to the game.
Mm-hmm. And
What?
sorry, I was about to say something. I'm gonna no. I actually have it. It's not my number 2, so I'll save what I was gonna say until I spoil it.
Oh,
That's my number 1. But
but and
um,
also people forget Peaches is also like a really good song. That honestly might win. Actually, I'm just Ken might win it too. I
yeah,
don't know. That's tough.
yeah, that's gonna be a toss up.
Yeah,
But my number 2 is Pokemon the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back. And
yeah.
you know which one this is. This is the one that I have a vivid memory of this as a
I
kid.
do
I watched
too.
it so many times. When we were younger, we used to drive to Florida and we had, the old minivans had like the TVs in the back of the
Yeah.
whatever those things are, the back of like the
Uh,
headset, the
yeah.
headrest. And we would play this and like The Simpsons on like repeat, I remember.
The whole car ride down. Yeah.
Yeah. I loved Pokemon as a kid. I actually rewatched this like kind of recently because I was curious, and it does hold up pretty well.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
like that scene with
Mewtwo,
Ash is pretty
yeah,
fucking dark. Yeah.
where like Pikachu is crying because Ash has turned into stone.
Stone. Yeah.
It was like so sad. Mewtwo is also he's just mad funny. He's like existential as fuck in the movie, and he's
Yeah.
all the other Pokemon are just like saying their name, and he's like, "There's something wrong with this
So,
society." And,
yeah.
like the Pokemon
What
are
is he? He's supposed
locked
to be
up.
just like a cloned Mew, right?
Yeah, he's a clone of Mew.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, this one is one that brings me back to my childhood a lot,
Yeah.
and it genuinely is good. Like it's if you're a fan of Pokemon, like you would love the movie. So that was my number 2. I'm wondering what your number 1 is. to be honest, because I figured it would be Mario.
No, my that was your number two. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
My number one is actually Gran Turismo. I think in terms of quality, like that's the best video game movie. Like in terms of a movie in general. I don't know. It seems like because it is a video game movie. It's not like it's a racing game. So I mean, yeah,
I actually feel so stupid right now because I completely
What?
forgot that.
Yeah.
That would have been numbered.
That would have been probably high up for you.
Let me check. I don't know if that would have been either one or two. Forgot. No, that would have been two.
I'm
I
surprised you
completely
didn't put
forgot. Yeah, I
Damn.
completely forgot. That would have been my number two. Damn. I feel kind of stupid now. I could have kicked off Free Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a bad pick though. We discussed it
Yeah.
in one of our episodes. That was like kind of
Very
shocking how good it was.
good. It was, yeah.
But yeah, my number one, as I said, is Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Yeah.
It's so faithful to the game. Story is fun. The world is awesome. Just how spot on it is. There's all these, you feel like you're in the Mushroom Kingdom watching it. There's all these Mario characters, and
we're getting a new Mario game a couple days actually.
really,
10
I don't
days.
really play any of the Switch games too much. I do enjoy like Mario. I like Mario, but I just.
Have you seen like the trail? I've been keeping up with the trailers and stuff, or not really?
I've seen gameplay.
It looks like really good, honestly.
I never, even when we were younger, I didn't play any of those like 2D scroller.
Neither did I until like recently. Like I forgot, I was just bored one day and I bought. Oh, you had Odyssey actually, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed Odyssey.
Yeah, that's like a 3D. That's.
Well, yeah, I'm talking like just Mario in general.
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
play the Kirby games. The Kirby's 2D.
I used to play the 3D Mario. Galaxy, Sunshine. I feel like there's another. But whatever. Either way, yeah, I never really played like Mario Bros. Wii or whatever. You know which ones I'm talking about.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know. That apparently the next console is gonna come out like probably next Christmas. I'm assuming, and they said then they're gonna release the next 3D Mario game.
Yeah, I wonder what they're gonna do for that. I'm really like interested in what Nintendo's
The next
gonna
console.
do.
I like the Switch. It runs horribly, but
Yeah,
like as a console itself,
it's not even remotely close to in quality to
as a PlayStation or Xbox.
And also they don't get as many games either.
No, I feel like they rely way too much on their IP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is cheaper. What is it? It's like $250 for a Switch.
Yeah.
And a PS5
and their
is
IP is like very good. Like, isn't Pokemon like the highest grossing franchise of all time?
I feel like it might be Call of Duty, but
no, like Pokemon's... I think in any form of media, like but like MC anything.
Maybe.
Let me see highest.
But yeah, that was a good list though. I can't believe I forgot Gran Turismo. We just fucking watched it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Pokemon. Pokemon's the highest grossing franchise of all time. You know what number 2 is? Well, you know how much?
Let me guess.
The top 5 is kind of nuts.
Wait, just highest grossing franchises?
Franchises, yeah.
Number 2.
This is taking in, but so this chart I'm looking at is from. Hold on, wait. Okay.
I'm gonna guess.
So it takes into account video games, merchandise, trading cards, comic and manga, box office, home entertainment, books, TV, music, museums, and stage plays.
I'm gonna guess Marvel.
Marvel's not in the top 5.
What is it? What's number 2?
Number 2 is Hello Kitty.
The fuck?
80.26 billion in revenue, but it's all their revenues from merchandise.
Give me the other 3. I'm curious.
Winnie the Pooh is 3. Mickey Mouse is 4, and Star Wars is 5.
Yeah.
But you gotta remember too, Mickey Mouse has been around since 1928, and Winnie the Pooh has been around since 1924.
Yeah, I guess it's true. Is it adjusted for inflation or no?
I don't think so. This thing's like top 20. I'm just looking at top 5.
Yeah, but
But yeah,
we're getting off topic a little.
yeah,
But yeah, that'll wrap up our list.
yeah.
And we have one more movie to talk about, which I recommended on the last podcast. And that is the Clive Barker directed Hellraiser from 1987. Hellraiser is an interesting franchise to me and movie in general because I never got into it until like a couple years ago. And I don't think you had either, right?
No, because it was like always Jason and uh, like Freddy
Yeah,
Krueger for
I
us.
was
I
gonna
feel
say
like
we were big fans of horror, so we
yeah.
watched, Jason, Freddy, Michael
I
Myers.
knew who Pinhead was, but I feel like I never really watched the movie.
Yeah, so I always thought Pinhead was gonna be this, slasher guy that kills all his victims, and that's kind of what he is in Hellraiser 3, and I
Yeah,
really like that one. Um, but in this movie, he's not really the antagonist. He's kind of like him and the Cenobites are sort of protagonists in a
background
way.
characters. They're not
Yeah,
not even. I feel like they're just kind of like this net evil because they're not really like good or bad. They're just kind of there.
yeah. I mean,
As opposed to
yeah,
the other movies, they lean way more into the Cenobites and like the lore of the Cenobites.
yeah. I think that they didn't realize how popular they actually were going to
Popular
be.
opinion, no.
This is actually it's based on a book called The Hellbound
Hell,
Heart, which I actually read because I want to get into reading, but I suck at it because my
yeah,
attention
I
span is
agree.
like hooked from like TikTok and shit and watching
How's
movies.
the book
Um,
compared to the movie?
it's basically it's just basically the same thing
Same
because the
thing.
movie is directed by the dude who wrote the book, so it's
Yeah,
basically a direct adaptation. But I really enjoyed it, and it's a pretty easy read if you ever want to check it out. I have the book.
yeah.
Um,
Is it long?
no, it's short.
No, maybe I'll
So I
read it.
really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But anyways, yeah, Clive Barker is an author, and then he became a director for this movie, and he ended up directing a couple other cool movies like Nightbreed. I don't know if you've seen, but
no,
he has this emphasis on like body horror and gore and blood and things of that nature. And I
yeah,
think the body horror in this movie was really cool.
yeah. That like opening scene when Frank like comes up out of the wood because the what's his name cut his hand. Like that
Yeah,
was mad cool. Like it was just like his brain and like spinal cord and shit, and just like all the nerve endings and stuff.
yeah, forming.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'll give a little synopsis though for those of you who don't know. It basically
yeah,
follows this wife and husband, and then the husband's daughter, who is not the daughter of the wife. Like the wife is the stepmom. So the daughter's name is Kirsty Cotton. Um, so apparently it gets revealed that the wife had an affair with the husband's brother like the day before their wedding, and then he disappeared. But she's always sort of had this like lingering like attraction to him or like
factions. Yeah,
longing for him. And they move into a house that I guess used to belong to him or used to belong to someone in the family. And it's revealed that he's still alive upstairs, but he's just horribly disfigured and has to sort of needs the blood of other living humans to come back to life.
yeah. To form his body.
Yeah, and it gets revealed that the reason why he's like that is because he played with this box, which is so famous in the Hellraiser franchise now. It's the Lament configuration. And then, the Cenobites pulled up on him and like fucked him up.
Yeah,
So it's basically the story of the wife sort of going out and bringing people back to the house and killing them in order to feed Frank, who is the brother of the husband, to bring him back to life this whole time because she longs for this. I don't know if it's like a lust or something that she's missing in her current relationship.
yeah. It's something along those lines.
So in terms of like storylines for like a slasher horror, this isn't really a slasher, but it kind of is.
Yeah,
It's pretty good, pretty
yeah. No, it's an
pretty good
interesting like.
storyline. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it works well. It could stand on its own, aside from the Cenobites, and it proves that because they're
yeah,
barely in it. a lot of times, a lot of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies and the Friday the 13th, they rely on the fact that they have this slasher icon that there's like people don't give a fuck about the story as long as he's in here killing people, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But I think this, compared to those movies, does a really good job of having its own story that works on its own.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't rely on like the shock value of the Cenobites and stuff. Like the story, like you summed it up. The story itself is good at the core of it.
Yeah, I think Kirsty works pretty well as a final girl as well. She's very
Yeah,
likable.
I agree.
Um, Rewatching this movie, I gave it I'll get it. I originally gave it a 4. Like I had it as a
Yeah.
4 back when I like first watched it.
Hmm.
But there were like a lot of things that I didn't remember, just sort of like weird things. Because I was thinking, why did I only give it a 4? I feel like it's more iconic. I should have gave it higher. But now I like kind of understand. There are a
Yeah.
couple weird like storylines that hold it back. For one, there's like this relationship with Kirsty and this guy that's never really like followed
Nothing
up
happens
into.
from yeah
It's not. He doesn't really play any
significance.
role in the story at all.
Yeah.
There's this weird thing with this homeless guy that's following her around, and then at the end of the movie, he comes back when they're burning the lament configuration and turns into this giant demon dragon and just flies away, and then the movie
So
just
like
ends.
the scene that he's in, like Kirsty's, she works at a pet shop, and he's just like in the back, like eating crickets for some reason, and she like kicks him out of the store, and then you never see him again, and then the only time you see him, he just turns into this giant like demon dragon and takes the what is it called, the lament configuration,
Yeah.
and flies away. So it was like a little. I don't know why him eating. Maybe that's something in the Bible, like with the
Yeah, because I think,
crickets.
in my
Is that
opinion,
like
it's
something?
implying that he is the devil. I guess I don't,
Let me look it up.
but yeah, he ends up flying away with the box and like turning into this giant skeleton dragon. I was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, I don't remember this ever happening.
Does that happen in the book too?
Honestly, I don't remember. I think it does. But yeah, aside from that, though, I know I mentioned that the Cenobites aren't in it a lot, but the rest, besides Pinhead, I think the other ones have really cool designs. You have the Chatterer, it's a
Yeah,
famous one, Butterball,
Butterball.
and then the other girl is just called Female Cenobite. I guess they didn't really have a name at the time. I think the idea of them in general is really cool. How
Yeah,
they sort of, the way they explain themselves is like they're explorers of the further reaches of reality or something,
yeah,
which is pretty cool. They're just sort of like these mysterious demonic entities. They don't really explain them too well, but I think that mystery that they're shrouded in sort of
yeah.
does the film
Yeah,
justice.
and they're not really like good or bad. They just kind of like are they? I don't know how to explain it. Like,
Yeah. Like if you open that lament configuration, they show up.
yeah, it doesn't matter if you're like a murderer or you're like a priest. It's
To
gonna kill
them,
you.
yeah, to them they're saying that like pain is the ultimate form of pleasure or
Pleasure.
something.
Oh, like the line between pain and pleasure is like thin.
Yeah. I love Pinhead. He has so many like famous lines in it. Uh like don't I forget the exact line, but it's like stop your tears, they're a good waste of suffering or
Right,
something.
yeah.
He also has the
There's
we have
so many
such
sights,
yeah, we
such
have such
sights and
sights.
sounds to show
No, it's like
you.
yeah, we have such sights to show you. They brought that back in in
Yeah.
the newer
How
one
do you
that came
think
out
this
on
holds
Hulu.
up with the newer one?
I think this is a lot better.
I feel like they're similar quality. I mean, I honestly really enjoyed the Pinhead from the new one too.
Yeah, so did I. And she is in it a lot more in that
Is
one.
she female in the book?
She is sort of described as
I
having
know there's
female
not. They don't really.
qualities.
They're not like. There's no real like gender.
Yeah, in
They're
the
just
book,
like demons.
yeah, in the book, it's described that Pinhead has sort of female qualities, but it doesn't necessarily say whether they're a man or woman.
Yeah,
But then being a woman makes just as much sense as being a man.
yeah, yeah. But I kind
Um,
of like the idea that like there's no like they're just like there's no gender. It's just like a it's like a
yeah,
demon. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
Like it's not human.
Yeah, yeah, that that basically sums up my
Yeah,
feelings on it as
yeah.
well. Um, Trying to think if I have
Do they
any.
acknowledge anything about the original movie in the new one, like about Frank or about?
I don't think so, to be
No,
honest.
right? Yeah,
I think it's just its own thing. I
yeah.
like Frank though as a character. I think he does a pretty good job.
Fucking horn dog.
Skinless Frank. I think that what's the mother's name? Julia, is it?
I think so. Something.
Yeah, Julia. Um, I think she's a pretty cool character. I think the actress does a great job.
Yeah,
She's sort of like insane. Well,
yeah.
first of all,
She's
she's
like
willing
bringing all
to
these
bring the
these
yeah, but
people back. It's just like
she has such this strange longing though for Frank. Like even when he has like he's made of half just like not even skin. He has no skin. It's just like
he's
muscle
just like
fiber.
muscle and like
She's like
he's like
kissing
he's
his
like
fingers and
fucking
shit.
his fingers like oozing pus and shit.
Yeah, she was like sucking on the.
Sucking his finger. Yeah.
I don't know. I like how
And
insane
I
her
mean, it is a
character is.
very very like sexual story. Like the whole like you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of like sexual aspects in it,
Yeah.
scenes. It probably is
Yeah.
trying to say something that I just don't
Yeah.
really
Understand.
fully understand.
Damn, looking at Pinhead,
But
I really wish they put him in Fortnite.
yeah, that would be sick.
Such a missed opportunity. Imagine emoting with him.
I think he might
Or
be a
her.
little bit too hardcore. Because if you look at
I
a
mean,
movie like
they have
Mike,
Kratos in there and shit, and he rips people's heads off.
that's true.
They have
But
Ash
it's not.
versus.
Yeah, but think about like the movie itself. Let's say kids watch this and they're like, "Well, let me check out Hellraiser."
Yeah,
Like,
but so look at Ash versus Evil Dead. I mean,
yeah,
Evil Dead 2,
this is
whatever.
more like there's these weird like sexual undertones and stuff. I guess it's possible. I know that
I'm trying
apparently
to
he's
think. I
gonna.
feel like there's definitely other collabs that they've done.
I think Mortal Kombat. Apparently, there's gonna be a horror combat pack where there's gonna be like Pinhead, Michael Myers,
Oh, you sent me
Ghostface.
something about that, right?
Yeah, which would be him in
I mean,
Mortal Kombat makes a lot of sense. Think about him
yeah,
like
that
using
actually, yeah,
his weapon, his chains and shit to like attack. That would be pretty sick.
that would be
Um,
actually really cool. I hope they did that.
yeah, but yeah, I want to get back to the actual movie though a little
Movie,
bit.
yeah.
There was also the scene of her in the Kirsty Cotton in the insane asylum place where she opens the lament configuration and it opens this door. There's this weird
Doorway
creature that
creature like runs at her.
yeah, I like how
I
that creature
forgot.
looked, but that was also
Yeah,
kind of random and like
random. Yeah,
I
and
didn't
then
really understand that.
they never talk about it again.
Yeah, but also that's another good thing about the story is when the Cenobites pull up on her, she's like, like yo, don't take me. I know someone survived your guys' attack, and they're
Yeah,
like, oh, no one survived our shit, and then she's like, oh, take him instead of me. So they sort of like trade off like a life for a
her
life.
life for hit. Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool. Um,
yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know. I don't have much else to say about it. It's definitely one of my favorite of the
It's a
classic
classic. Yeah, horror
horror
movie.
movies. I prefer
I think
this.
over like Friday the 13th and in
Yeah.
terms of story.
hmm And some of the sequels are good. A lot of them are terrible. I've watched every one.
Yeah, I know. I only watched I think up to 4. The third one
Yeah.
I remember being like pretty bad.
I like the third one. My ranking's probably like 1, 3, then 2, and then the rest
That's
are
like the one where
basically
like
shit.
Pinhead's like in the like he's in that like statue thing.
Yeah. But the reason why I like that one is because he just becomes a slasher. Like he goes in the club in that one scene, and just is murdering everyone
I
in there.
forgot about that.
Um,
Doesn't he have like a mad, insane line too in the club?
yeah, he says I forget what he says, but it's like something crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't really know if I have much else to say about the movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, pretty much
I
summed it
guess.
up.
Oh wait, well we got to do our favorite character and favorite scene.
Favorite scene, yeah.
So, all right, my favorite character. I want to choose Pinhead, but he's really just not in
Not
enough.
enough, yeah.
So
In
I
the
think
other
I'm
ones,
just.
you can.
I think
But not
Frank,
this.
Skinless Frank. I really love the performance. I love how he looked with all like his muscle tissue
Yeah,
and stuff coming
I
out.
agree.
And
He's
then
probably the
Kirsty
most
is really.
interesting. Him and Kirsty are probably two most interesting characters.
Yeah, even the mother is interesting. All
Yeah,
like Julia, they're all pretty solid characters, but
yeah,
I think Frank is probably my favorite.
I agree.
And then my favorite scene, hmm,
Mine is him getting reanimated.
from the
I'm,
beginning.
yeah. Like I
I
feel like
think,
in the other ones, there's more scenes with Pinhead and shit. Like he's just not in it enough for me to, you
yeah,
know what I mean?
my favorite scene would probably be the not the ending, but where Frank kind of gets fucked at the end and dies. Where the
Yeah, yeah,
Cenobites all pull up and then all the chains are coming out and attaching onto him and they rip him apart and he explodes.
yeah,
Um, I really like that part because first of all, it contains the Cenobites, and also I really like the makeup and the graphic nature of the scene.
the scene. Yeah, they like rip his face apart.
Yeah, and that kind of encapsulates what they do, you know.
Yeah,
So yeah, I guess for
yeah.
ratings, um, I stuck with my rating of 4 stars. When I was rewatching it, I was leaning towards 4.5, but there was just like a lot of weird shit going
Weird
on
shit. Yeah,
and
yeah.
just like
It
unresolved
holds the
plot
movie
points
back a little bit.
and
Yeah,
yeah, stuff like yeah, like you said, just
yeah.
holds the movie back.
Yeah. I
So
originally gave it a 3.5, and I'm still giving it a 3.5. Like I really do enjoy a lot of the story and the pinheads look. I mean, the Cenobites look sick, but like there's still just some really like weird plot points they just don't discuss.
yeah. So
Yeah.
all right, that basically wraps that up.
Wraps up this episode. But I mean,
Uh,
do you have any questions?
yeah, we have a couple questions. We'll do the Q&A quick.
And I got my movie recommendation.
Yeah, and I gotta give a list. I
The
have a
list, yeah.
pretty good one, I think. All right, so we got a question from at sophia.k.ua. You haven't asked one in a while, so thanks for coming back. We got, in your opinion, what makes a good horror movie? Is it the effects, suspense, gore, etc.?
I feel like honestly, it's more to do with. I like horror movies that it's more with the plot that gets me scared than any of the. I mean, obviously the other stuff helps, but like when the story itself is actually scary, that makes it even better.
Yeah, I think it depends on who you ask.
Yeah,
I prefer a lot of the more graphic and gory stuff, so I would say good gore and good effects makes a horror movie for me, but I know for a lot of people it probably is the suspense element and being tense
yeah.
and
I
being
feel
on the
like
edge of
in
your
a lot of
seat.
horror, you have to trade off. It's either like, like with a lot of the gory movies and not gore, like gory movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Like usually the plots are pretty like shitty.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
as
like
of recently, it's been
it's been better,
yeah,
but
but like historically,
I would say the ones that critics like more are probably the more serious,
uh,
suspenseful and tense
elevated
ones.
horror type. Yeah,
Yeah. So I feel like the elements of tension probably make a good horror movie. But again, it
yeah.
just depends who you ask. All right, so then Tom.Lieberman underscore asks us a couple questions. Thanks, Tom, for the questions.
But yeah, let's hear it.
Movies, he asks, what are movies that you two disagree on the most?
Uh, I feel like what was one that we watched like recently? What
Black
did we were
Adam.
talking about? The Black Adam was one of me that
That shit was
I thought you
terrible.
hated for no reason. I mean, obviously it wasn't good, but you were like, what did you give it?
2 star. I think you give it a 3.5.
I think yeah, it was fun, dude. You're just a fucking loser. I don't know. You just hate The Rock for some reason.
For The Rock, for some reason, he
Nah, I
just
mean now looking back, he's like a fucking loser, but
also the movie's terrible.
it's fun. It's not good. I mean, it's not like
All right,
amazing.
whatever. I'm trying
There's
to think.
definitely more though that we don't agree on.
Yeah, I'm trying to like look just really quickly through like movies that came out this year. Um, yeah, that's the first one that came to mind just because I remember.
Us disagreeing.
Yeah, I think in general, like the DC stuff, you like it a lot more than I do.
I mean, Not necessarily. I mean, like, which ones do I like more?
Um, the Suicide Squad. I still liked it, but I think you really love it.
I really like the Suicide Squad. I mean,
I
you
feel like
haven't seen Peacemaker,
yeah. Trying to just
but
look. I feel like there is more if we had time to like actually go
probably,
through
yeah.
our list, but yeah. Then he also asks, what's an unpopular film opinion that you guys share? The Exorcist Believer is good.
It's good, yeah.
Trying to think of my unpopular film opinions. I think Tarantino is a bit overrated in
You
general.
said Nolan's overrated too,
I
I
think
think, right?
Nolan's a bit overrated. Although both directors have made two of my favorite movies of all
Yeah.
time with Oppenheimer and what's it called? Not Pulp Fiction. Uh
Fight Club?
Django.
No.
I think they both make good movies to great movies, but I don't think they should be sucked off as hard as they are by like film bros.
Yeah.
Um, Especially Tarantino. A lot of his movies just annoy me.
Yeah, really? I mean,
Yeah,
I haven't really seen a lot of his shit. So,
that's probably an unpopular opinion.
yeah. I mean,
And I
I guess
hate The
mine.
Rock. I don't know if
I
that's
will. I mean,
unpopular.
yeah, that's not a secret to anybody. But I feel like mine's about like Mother. I like will defend Mother. I still think that movie's so good, and I feel like a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I because Aronofsky is such a
Like a
great
genius,
director,
yeah.
and that
I want
movie
to see
has like
that.
it has like pretty terrible reviews, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's like 50%.
So, what were you gonna say?
Um, I don't remember now.
You
Sorry.
said I want to see something.
Oh, that like movie he produced in Vegas. It's like about Earth.
Uh, yeah, all you have to do is go to the MSG Sphere
Yeah.
in Vegas. Very
Wait, it's
easy.
the same MSG like the one from New York?
Yeah, James Dolan owns the thing.
Where oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Damn.
um,
It's called the MSG Sphere.
I think so. Or it might just be called the Sphere. But
The Sphere. But
anyways,
it's owned by like the
yeah, James Dolan owns it. So then the last question Tom again asks, what are some adaptations that need to happen? Fortnite.
Fortnite, yes. We do need a
Um,
Fortnite.
Fortnite movie. One that is happening, God of War.
Oh yeah, God of War.
God of War into live action would be sick.
We got FNAF.
I also would love to see this is something from DC, like the Blackest Night storyline adapted
That's
into
gonna be a lot. I
something
feel like down the line they could do that.
like an animated movie or live action.
Blackest
Uh,
Night is pretty cool.
I would
I
like to
don't
see a
know.
proper Flashpoint in live action.
They're not gonna touch Flashpoint probably for a while though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I wanted like the One Piece live action. We got that, and it was actually good. Uh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have any like
I'm trying to
favorite
think of like
books
comics I've
or
read.
something. I don't really read books, but
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I feel like Batman The Long Halloween would be sick.
I mean, that's basically the Batman is like pretty
I mean,
similar.
it's kind of, but there's so many more
I
villains.
know, like yeah, I know.
And it's just the movie like the movie would be like him trying to solve this murder by
And
going and
get each
interrogating
villain,
each
yeah,
villain. That would be so
and probably
cool.
get to like learn more about like his backstory with the villain and shit.
I feel like I think they did do a animated movie
Of
for it
what?
of The Long Halloween. I think actually
They
like last year
probably
they did, and it was like split up into two parts. But yeah, number one on
they.
my list might be God of War though. I would love to see that in live
Yeah, I mean,
action.
this happening.
Yeah,
Wonder who they're gonna get to play.
The Rock.
Nah,
I hope not. I hope
I hope they
Jason
just do.
Momoa does it.
I want Christopher Judge to do it.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't look like Kratos. That's the thing. I know he has the voice, but
Yeah, but he's like a big dude. Have you seen like pictures of him? Like he said like when he for the second game like he wanted to feel like Kratos, so like he got like massive. He like bulked and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure he definitely could do it. Like, he obviously has the voice down, and he's
yeah,
played Kratos before. It's just, like, live action's a different animal, you know?
yeah. No,
So,
but I mean, but I feel like with the though like it's he does mocap and shit. It's not like he's not like he's still interacting with people. It's like they're
no, I know, but
filming a movie scene.
yeah, you're right. But still.
Yeah,
Um, all right, yeah. So, thanks, Tom, for those questions.
yeah,
Do you want to, before we wrap up, you want to give your movie rec? And then I think I have a
yeah.
good list rec for the next one.
I think I have a pretty good movie rack. Sticking with like the Halloween theme. This is one of like the I as a young kid, and I feel like you too. We used to be deathly afraid of this movie. Um, Child's Play from I believe 1981. It came out. I
I
remember.
love Child's Play.
Yeah, I haven't seen this in a really long time. I remember it being like funny-ish. Like looking back when I saw it when I was older.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be funny, right? I'm not talking about the new remake with like Mark Hamill. I'm talking about
Yeah,
like
I
the
mean,
originals.
yeah, it's supposed to have comedic elements. Like, it's a doll cursing and shit,
Yeah.
you know?
How was
Uh,
the new one that came out?
it's okay. It wasn't terrible.
Uh,
They changed like the original one is the doll is possessed by a serial killer, and the new one it's basically like AI gone bad, which isn't
Bad.
as interesting as a story.
Yeah.
But Mark Hamill plays Chucky, which is pretty cool in the new one.
Oh, any of the kills good and stuff?
I think some of the kills are pretty good.
I haven't seen the new one. Doesn't the doll look like mad stupid though?
Yeah, it looks kind of goofy.
I mean,
Um,
it's kind of like what Megan did, honestly, if you think about it.
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
better.
I guess
Yeah.
you're right. Um, but all right, yeah, I'm actually hyped for that. I really love Child's Play, and I wanted to rewatch it anyway. It's only 87 minutes too.
Oh, oh really? Oh. I
Yeah.
figured it was gonna be quick, but
So, but yeah, sticking on that theme, like the next episode, I think is gonna come out like October 29th or something. So it's like gonna be around Halloween. I want to
yeah,
do. I know we did top 10 horror movies, but I want to do now like top 10 horror franchises. So take the franchise as a whole,
yeah, that's a good
and
one.
we'll talk about that. Like obviously, Child's Play could be on there. Scream, all the like the big ones.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah, all right. So for the next episode, um, which releases October 29th,
ninth.
we should
And a
watch.
FNAF, Kills Us, The Flower Moon, and Child's Play.
Yep, very interesting. We'll see how I do. For those of you that don't know, I think I've mentioned on here before that I have like my civil engineering degree. I'm starting my
Yeah,
first day as of a 9 to 5 in the real world this Monday. So, my
welcome
output
to
of
the.
movies isn't
Yeah,
gonna be as insane as it's been.
you got like probably double the movies I have now.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm entering the real world, so wish me luck.
Yeah,
Um but we'll still keep going with this pod as long as we can. I'm
I
sure
mean
I
we'll
won't have
still be
any
able to
trouble
do it.
watching like
Yeah,
2 movies a week
no,
and
I mean I work
recording.
full time and I'm able to do it.
Yeah. So, all
Yeah,
right.
I mean once in a. Actually no, you're off every weekend, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Won't
Yeah,
matter. So, anyways, thanks for listening.
yeah,
Follow us on our socials, our Instagram. The link
yeah.
tree to all of our socials will be either in the
The
description of the YouTube
letterbox.
video or the description of the podcast on Apple Podcasts. So check us out. I always mention follow us on Letterboxd because then you could see what else we watch
Reviews. Yeah,
besides what we talk about on here. Um, so it's a very good place to sort of get to know someone's interests in
yeah.
film. So yeah, definitely give us a follow. Stay epic and awesome, and
Yeah, stay epic and awesome.
that'll wrap up the episode. So thanks everyone for listening. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks. It'll be big week, FNAF week.
Frickin' go.